As you probably know, Mob Entertainment just dropped another Poppy Playtime VHS analog video, and I'm super excited to unpack it all with you because there is a lot to break down here, as well as I think there's some stuff we're going to see in Chapter 3 in this video, so let's dive in. So the video starts off with a warning letting us know this footage has been tampered with. It also notes that this is part of the Bigger Bodies relocation guide. We're also warned to not continue watching this video, but we're going to keep watching it anyways. And what I think is interesting here is right below it we see some translations in other languages. I want to know why we're seeing these translations in what looks like to possibly be Russian and German. The video cuts to the next step, which is of course retrieving the giant from storage B. What I think is super interesting here is the fact that they're not referring to them as toys or bigger bodies, but in fact giants. We then jump into the darkened warehouse as we explore looking for our giant, and of course as we turn on the lights we see that it is Kissy Missy. She is standing there, not really attacking us, she's just kind of chilling here. We see behind her a rather medium-sized-ish Mommy Long Legs and PJ Pugapillar, much smaller than the ones we saw in Chapter 2, so these possibly might be failed experiments of those that were just laying around in that storage unit. The next step is of course securing the giant to the board, and we see Kissy Missy now strapped to that board, completely docile. It doesn't look like she put up much of a fight when the workers came in to retrieve her. We then see a blueprint showing us what we need in order to secure our giant, which of course is a giant, 2 straps to secure the arms, of course 4 straps to secure the whole body, and the board to attach them to. What I think is interesting here on the right side of these blueprints is the note of a contingency plan. A contingency plan is there for in case something goes wrong and what to do next. And also to always see what is acceptable use of force in an emergency scenario. So how often do these emergency scenarios happen, and how often do they have to use force on these giants? I'm sure they don't want a lot of force being used on them, as they seem to want to transport them very carefully, as they are probably very expensive, but I don't think they are all that delicate. Next we see Kissy Missy being loaded onto the train. The biggest thing we can take away here is she is being loaded on the train heading towards the play care, which is where we last left off in Chapter 2. I'd like to think that we are probably going to see a little bit more Kissy Missy, just like how Mommy Longlegs was stationed at the game station. Kissy Missy's home is possibly the play care. On step 4, we're about to learn a little bit more about the contingency plans until we are interrupted by big bold red text demanding that we loosen the straps binding the giant. I believe that this is the prototype talking to us, demanding we cease all activity of what we're doing. Cut to footage of a camera mounted on the back of the train, allowing us to keep an eye on Kissy Missy. And let's make a quick note here that it is 10:42 in the morning on August 8th, 1995. This lets me know that by 1995, the factory is still open and running, and that they are in the process of transferring and relocating toys throughout the factory. Step 5 is to, of course, inform the conductor of where you're heading to, and we cut to a quick shot of us in the train from Chapter 2, and of course we see the train code and another piece of paper that I cannot make out exactly what it is or what it says, but I'm hoping we can come across that same piece of paper in Chapter 3. What I think is interesting right here is the camera mounted in the train tunnel. We see a little bit of graffiti for a brief moment that says, "The hour of joy is upon us." This feels very cult-like, as if they are predicting the impending doom, the apocalypse that is going to befall Playtime Co. I'm not sure who would have left this, possibly Harley Sawyer and the people working underneath him, or maybe it was the prototype. Either way, this is definitely a very ominous message that was left for us to find. We're noted we need to keep watch of the giant during transit, but once again, the prototype is asking us to release the straps that bind the giants. Cut to footage of Kissy Missy being transported on the train. She's just kind of looking off up in the distance, maybe possibly at the camera. Not really much going on here until on step 7, the prototype is done playing nice and demands we release the straps. We then cut to Kissy Missy on the train, and she is now looking down at her feet. There is something below the camera that we can't see she is looking at. It could possibly be the prototype. I'm not 100% sure, considering when we saw her loaded on there, there wasn't a lot of room, and I'm assuming that the prototype is fairly big. Either way, there's something down there and she is watching it. Of course, the next scene we cut to, it is now 11:14 in the morning, and Kissy Missy has been freed from her binds, and she is covered in blood, and there are 2 deceased employees around her. Whatever she was looking at freed her and took out the 2 employees. You can hear screams and cries for help in the background. I think whatever freed Kissy Missy here was going on a rampage, which is terrifying. I believe this could possibly have been the day that it all ended for Playtime Co. And I also want to note that I definitely don't think this was Kissy Missy who had attacked these workers. She didn't attack when they retrieved her. She didn't put up a fight when they strapped her down to the board, and she remained chill through the whole train ride. It doesn't look like she moved much and that she was just freed and watched the carnage happen before her. I want to talk about a couple of theories that I have leading into chapter 3. 1, Kissy Missy is going to be in the play care. 2, I definitely think we're going to discover more about this Bigger Bodies project and more on Harley Sawyer himself. I think we finally might get some answers about what happened to Playtime Co., as this video might have been alluding to this was the day everything fell apart for the toy company. I want to thank you all so much for watching my video. Again, this was just a brief breakdown of the video we just got. I'm really hoping we get a chapter 3 trailer soon from Mob Entertainment. And of course, I'll keep working on some theories and other crazy ideas I have, and I will see you all in the next video.